Hi students. Yesterday we had a grammar lesson which was full of exercises. I hope that you revised. And by the way, we do have our exams close and they are getting closer and closer. So how is your studying? How are you doing? You will forget to revise the lesson if you keep wasting time on games. This is one advice that I can give you now, since that we are getting closer to our exams. So we have here, this is a sentence, and the other one, you will forget revising the lesson if you are not paying attention. So there are two ways, and these are the two basic forms that we talked about in yesterday's lesson. So again, we have here the first one, you will forget to revise the lesson if you keep wasting time on games. And the second one, you will forget revising the lesson if you are not paying attention. Also, there is another verb that we can use here. Amal remembers to revise grammar weekly, which is good for Amal. And also we can say Amal remembers revising the part about infinitives and gerunds. Now note that I changed the sentences here so you can understand and be aware more about the meanings. How do they change? Just get it into your mind more. We have here the first one. Amal remembers to revise grammar weekly. This is something that she does as a routine. And also, Amal remembers revising the part about infinitives and gerunds. So this is something that she didn't forget. Also, we have another sentence. Ahmed tried to understand by himself, which is good for Ahmed. So he didn't need his teacher. He tried to understand by himself. And also, Ahmed tried understanding the rules from Eid lessons without asking the teacher. So this is one of the methods that Ahmed used to understand the lesson. Note the difference. They have stopped to take a break from studying. So they are studying, but they stopped to take a break. And also we can say, they have stopped taking breaks all the time and concentrated more on studying. So instead of taking 6 breaks, they took only 3. This is the difference between the two sentences. The teachers regret to tell students that they have failed the exam. This is something that they wish they do not do. And also I can say, the teachers regret telling students that they have failed the exam when they feel upset. It is not easy. So if they say to a student or students that they have failed the exam, this is something that they regret and they wish they didn't do because it is not easy. Also know the difference between them. Now I gave you a lot of exercises to do, and we are going to pass by them since we are talking about grammar, and we passed by the infinitive and the gerund as we said. Also we have here the homework part that we said. We have here the exercises. Now in the choosing the correct form, I did 3 and we are going to do the rest. So we have here page number 84. He'll never forget to score, or scoring that goal in the last minute of the game. So this is a memory, something that he'll remember. So he will never forget scoring. Don't forget to email or emailing me the photos. I'm asking you to do something and not forget. So don't forget to email. And also, we regret to informing you that your application has been declined. We are going to say that we regret to inform you. Also, we have this part, exercise B, which is on page number 85. Now answer the questions about yourself. Note the differences in the questions themselves. So we have here, let's see the questions. The first one, what is something you remember doing often when you were a child? We have here remember, and we have here doing with an ing, which means that we have a gerund. So I am going to answer using a gerund. We have here, I remember going to the park every Sunday. Number 2, what is something you forgot to do recently? So we have here forgot and to do. I forgot to go to my doctor's appointment. What is something you tried to do? I tried to bake a cake, but it didn't turn out very good. What is something you will never forget doing? There's a gerund, so the answer is, I will never forget visiting the event. What is something you try to remember to do each day? I try to remember to take a vitamin every day. And what is something you regret doing, which is a gerund, and I'm going to answer, I regret not taking a course that was very useful. Now, these are personal answers. You can change them. You can put whatever answer you want, but put in mind that you are going to have to use either the infinitive or the gerund. Now, we have here page also 85 to rewrite each sentence as a passive sentence. We did 3. We are going to complete the rest. So we have here, number 3, he waited for his boss to invite him to sit down. So who is the object? We're going to put the object, and we are going to use either the gerund or the infinitive, but in the passive form. So we have here to invite him. So we have here he waited to be invited. So we agreed if we have the infinitive, we're going to add to plus be and then the past participle. The second one. The mechanic needs to repair the car. So what is the object here? The object is the car. We have here the car needs to be repaired based on to repair. And the last one we have here, many celebrities enjoy having photographers take their pictures. We have here having as a gerund, and that's why we have many celebrities enjoy having their pictures taken. So also we have here having, and their picture taken is going to be the past participle to turn it into passive. Yes, after that. Now this is a very easy exercise. You are asked to complete each sentence with names of classmates and the appropriate auxiliary verb. So yesterday we agreed that sometimes you can put the auxiliary verb at the end of the sentence to shorten the sentence a little bit more. So these are my examples. You can use yours. Umar lives close to school, but Ali doesn't. So we have here but shows that there is another side, which is the other part. It can be negative. We have Adwa was in school yesterday and Reem was too. So we have here Reem was too, which is an agreement with Adwa. Then we have Bandar is wearing blue today, but Abdullah isn't. And the last one, Rawan never comes to school late, and Maha doesn't either. Now using either in the sentence or to, note that it is used with the connector and. So we have here, and Reem was too, and Maha doesn't either. So it is with the connector and. Coming to the last exercise that we have on page number 85, it is a comparison between Faris and Abdullah. And you can see that each boy has something that he likes and also something that he dislikes. And you can compare also by using these comparisons. So these are open answers. You can choose whatever you want, but you have to stick to using the auxiliaries. So these are also my examples. We have here, number 1, Faris likes Indian food and Abdullah does too. Faris doesn't like coffee and Abdullah doesn't either. Faris likes comedy shows, but Abdullah doesn't. Abdullah takes video games, but Faris doesn't. Abdullah doesn't like the beach, but Faris does. Also note that I used to and either with the connector and. Now we are done with our exercises, which are the grammar part. And we are going back to our main topic, which is the gender divide here in Unit 6. And I'm going to start with a question. So just imagine that you left home wearing 2 different shoes. You reached the place that you are going to go, work, school, whatever, and you are wearing these two different parts or these two pairs of shoes. What is your reaction? Will you just go on, just laugh about it and let the complete day just move? Will you call somebody to bring you the other pair of shoe, whatever one? Will you go back home? Will you get upset? Will you just carelessly just complete and say, okay, whatever? So there are different reactions for what can happen here. And this is going to be the basic thing. We are talking about different reactions, different situations that can happen, and how people deal with these situations. Now, for example, we have here a car accident. La samahullah, if something happens as a car accident, some people, they get, they feel that they are terrified, they get very anxious, they get upset, and other people, they are calm, and they try to deal with it very in a calm way, and they try to just see the positive part of it. We have also your wallet, for example, stolen. How would you deal with it? Some people, they have very strong reactions, and some don't. If there is a health situation also, how do other people deal with it? And we can say also other situations like for an exam. So some students, they get very nervous, they feel anxious. If they do not answer, the exam is very difficult, they would just leave the exam. Some people, they would just wait, they would think about the answers, and so on. And also, if you lost your keys, what is your reaction? Now, sometimes you could just have another copy made. Some people, they change their locks. Some other people, they just forget about it. So these are different reactions, and to just relate and connect with our unit here, the question is, how would you react? So you have different situations. How would you react to them? And another question is, do you think there is a gender difference in reactions? Do you think that these reactions, they are based on gender differences, or does it just depend on personalities, on characters? So this character has a different way to react than this character, and it doesn't have anything to do with genders. So what is your point of view? So we are going to take the conversation part. We are going to see one situation and how the people dealt with the situation. In our conversation lesson here, we are going to answer the questions and express opinions about reactions, give the meanings of words and expressions, use real talk and specific phrases in sentences, ask and give directions. Okay, now just visualize that you are on a trip, you are going somewhere, and you are with these two guys. We have here, he is introducing to us Faisal, and Faisal is introducing to us Fahad. Now, they do not look happy. Something happened. We are going to see what happened based on these pictures that you have. What is related to the story? You can see that we have here a gas station, and we can see that there is an attendant working in the gas station. And also we can see that there is, they are using the Google Maps. And also we have here, this guy, he seems lost, which means that also there is a story happening here. Now you are going to listen to the conversation between them, and then you are going to see what is the basic part or the basic phrase that we are going to talk about in our lesson. So watch out for the highlighted parts and also for the underlined texts. And as usual, in our conversation part, we have here two parts. We have the phrases, and also we have here real talk. So we're going to start.
I don't know why Google Maps can't find Lakeside Drive. I think we'd better stop and ask directions.
Don't worry. I'm sure I can find it. Let's try going this way.
I think we are lost. Look, there's a gas station. Let's pull over and ask someone.
Oh, all right.
You look lost.
You can say that again. We're looking for Lakeside Drive.
I know this town like the back of my hand, and I can tell you that there's no street by that name. Do you mean Riverside Drive?
Oh yeah. That must be it. I just got the street name wrong.
Can you tell us how to get there?
It's not far. It's just over on the other side of town. You need to turn left out of here. Then go straight for a couple of miles. Keep going until you see an ice cream shop. If you pass Town Hall, you've gone too far. Take the first left after the ice cream shop, and you'll be on Riverside Drive.
Thanks. I guess it's a good thing I suggested we stop for directions. We would have been driving in circles for ages.
Don't make a big deal about it. I'm sure I would have figured it out eventually.
Okay, now as I told you, we have here the highlighted parts, which is the real talk, and also we see the underlined part, which is the kind of conversation that we are going to take. Now you can see that most of this part is underlined because actually we are going to talk about giving directions. And here the attendant is giving directions. So you can see that there are different parts. We can see that we have here, it's just over the other side. You need to turn left, you need to turn right, go straight for a couple of miles, keep going until you see this or that. And we have here, if you pass, for example, Town Hall, you've gone too far. And also you can say, take the first left after the ice cream shop and you'll be wherever you want. Now there is something else I want you just to note here. Here, the two young men, which are Fahad and Faisal, did they have the same kind of reaction? Now you can understand from the last part that we have here. You can see that Fahad said, thanks. I guess it's a good thing I suggested we stop for directions. We would have been driving in circles for ages. And we have here Faisal, he said, don't make a big deal about it. I'm sure I would have figured it out eventually. So they had different kinds of reactions, which is the part that we have in our book. Now you have in the lesson, there are three main questions. The first one, how do Faisal and Fahad react differently to being lost? Which is the part that we just talked about. Were they the same? Did they have different reactions to it? Why couldn't they find the street that they were looking for? So why? Why did they couldn't find? It has something to do with what? With the map that they were using. And also we have the third one. How does each of them feel about having stopped to get to directions? So Fahad, he seems relieved and happy that they chose to ask for directions, and Faisal, he had another point of view and another opinion. So these three questions you can discuss with your classmates, and you can see what are the different opinions that each one of you think. Now, we have here the real talk part. We have actually 5 phrases that we have in the conversation. Now, we have the first one, know something like the back of my hand, which means to know something very well. Now, the phrase, that real talk, that we can say that something that you know very good and or you know very well, you're going to say that I know it like the back of my hand. Like when you are looking at your back of your hand and you know what? You know the thing that you are talking about, which means that you are sure about it. After that, we have, you can say that again. Now, it doesn't mean that I am asking you to repeat, but when someone agrees with someone else on something, he says, you can say that again. So which means that, yes, I agree with you and I am totally on the same wavelength. Also, we have for ages. Now, for ages, you can see here, there's a baby. And then we have here an infant. We have here also a toddler, we have a young boy. We have also a teenager, a young man, a grown man, and also we have an old man. Now, growing doesn't take a short time. It takes a long time. It takes actually different ages to reach from one to another. So when I say, as a phrase, as a real talk phrase, when I say that I have been looking for something for ages, which means actually that I have been looking for a long time. It doesn't mean that I have passed all these ages, but it's just a way to say a long time. And also we have another phrase for the real talk. We have over. Now you can just imagine this map, and we are here in this location, and I'm talking about the other location, which is over there, or over the other side. But here, the word over, it doesn't have to be used just with locations, map locations. Anything that you just want to direct to. We can say, for example, where is the book? The book is over there in the shelf. Where is Abdullah? He is sitting over there next to Ahmed. So any kind of a location that you want to just direct to, you can use the word over with it. So over here is used to emphasize location. And the last one, to make a big deal about it, you can see that we have here this man, and there's a balloon. He is blowing and blowing the balloon. And at the end, if the balloon is too big, it might just pop. Here, the word or the phrase make a big deal about something, which means that there is something that you are giving it more than it deserves. Or we have here something small that seems to make something small seem very important. Seem very important. So it doesn't have to be this big, or it doesn't have to be given this attention. So these are the 5 phrases that we have here for the real talk. Yes, now we come to the phrases or the basic type of talking or the conversation that we want here. Now you can notice from the attendant that he gave directions. So here the part that we are going to discuss is about giving or asking for directions. And you can see that asking for directions is less than giving directions. We can ask using, am I headed in the right direction? Can you tell me how to get to? I'm looking for. So there are different directions here. And at the other hand, or the other side, we have here giving directions. As we said, the attendant, he can say, go straight until you reach or get to another part. We have here also, if you see a building, for example, you have gone too far. Keep going until you come to a crosswalk, a street light, or whatever. Take left, take right. And we have here also, when you get to the supermarket, for example, or the end of the street, you will see a supermarket or a salon or whatever. So these phrases are the parts or the phrases that you are going to use in your role play, which you are asked to do. So we have here in the book, role play with a partner. Ask your partner how to get to his or her home or some other destination from school. Your partner will give you directions, use phrases from the box that we just discussed. So you are going to just do a kind of role play. Just imagine that you are in a place, you can say, for example, school, and you are going to give directions to another place just to use the direction phrases that we have. So someone is going to ask, and the other one is going to give the directions. So at the end of our discussion, we had some kinds of the listening part. We answered questions and predicted meanings of some words. You may have passed some words that you didn't understand, and you could understand from the context. The basic part is to build conversation using discussion phrases concerning giving directions. And also we have here to apply real talk in new sentences. So your assignment is going to be just to give directions to each other, choose a place, choose a little bit of a far place so there can be a lot of directions applied in it, and try to exchange the roles between you. This is your assignment, and we will move on, inshallah, in the next lesson with the listening lesson.